Hi 6W, happy Friday. I hope you're all okay and you've had another great week of home learning. I'm going to round it off as promised by reading some more of our class story, Wonder by RJ Palacio. Now, before I get going, have you got your comfies on and have you got some tasty treats to enjoy? If not, pause me now. Okay, a quick recap of where we're up to with the story so far. So August, or Oggy, is feeling really betrayed after he overheard his supposed best friend, Jack Will, making fun of his appearance to the rest of the class. His sister, Via, is also feeling down in the dumps as she's fallen out with her two best friends, Melissa and Ella. Now, part 3 of the story is told by Summer. And Summer, if you remember, has shown nothing but kindness to August from the very start of the story. So it'll be interesting to see how she sees what's going on. This chapter's called Weird Kids. I hope you enjoy it. Some kids have actually come out and asked me why I hang out with the freak so much. These are kids that don't even know him well. If they knew him, they wouldn't call him that. Because he's a nice kid, I always answer. And don't call him that. You're a saint, Summer, Shamina Chin said to me the other day. I couldn't do what you're doing. It's not a big deal, I answered her truthfully. Did Mr. Tushman ask you to be friends with him? Charlotte Cody asked. No, I'm friends with him because I want to be friends with him, I answered. Who knew that my sitting with August Pullman at lunch would be such a big deal? People acted like it was the strangest thing in the world. It's weird how kids can be. I sat with him that first day because I felt sorry for him, that's all. Here he was, this strange-looking kid in a brand new school. No one was talking to him. Everyone was staring at him. All the girls at my table were whispering about him. He wasn't the only new kid at Beecher Prep, but he was the only one who everyone was talking about. Julian had nicknamed him the Zombie Kid, and that's what everyone was calling him. Did you see the Zombie Kid yet? Stuff like that gets around fast. And August knew it. It's hard enough being the new kid, even when you have a normal face. Imagine having his face. So I just went over and sat with him. Not a biggie. I wish people would just stop trying to turn it into something that it's not. He's just a kid. The weirdest looking kid I've ever seen, yes, but just a kid. I do admit August's face takes some getting used to. I've been sitting with him for 2 weeks now, and let's just say he's not the neatest eater in the world. But other than that, he's pretty nice. I should also say that I don't really feel sorry for him anymore. That might have been what made me sit down with him the first time, but that's not why I keep sitting down with him. I keep sitting down with him because I really like him. He's fun. One of the things I'm not loving about this year is how a lot of the kids are acting like they're too grown up to play things anymore. All they want to do is hang out and talk at playtime. And all they talk about now is who likes who and who's cute and who isn't cute. Ugh. August doesn't bother about that stuff though. He likes to play Foursquare at playtime, and I love playing that as well. It was actually because I was playing Foursquare with August that I found out about the plague. Apparently this is a game that's been going around since the beginning of the year. Anyone who accidentally touches August has only 30 seconds to wash their hands or find hand sanitizer before they catch the plague. I'm not sure what happens if you actually catch the plague because nobody's touched August yet. Not directly, anyway. How I found out about this is that Maya Markovitz told me that the reason she won't play Foursquare with us at playtime is that she doesn't want to catch the plague. I was like, what's the plague? And she told me. I told Maya I thought that was really dumb, and she agreed, but she still wouldn't touch a ball that August had touched. Not if she could help it. I was really excited because I got an invitation to Savannah's Halloween party. Savannah's probably the most popular girl in the school. All the boys like her. All the girls want to be friends with her. She was the first girl in the whole of our year to actually have a boyfriend. It was some kid who goes to MS 281, although apparently she dumped him and then she started going out with Henry Joplin, which makes sense because the two of them look like teenagers already. Anyway, even though I'm not in the popular group, I somehow got invited, which is very cool. When I told Savannah I got her invitation and that I would be going to her party, she was really nice to me, though she made sure to tell me that she hadn't invited a lot of people, so I shouldn't go around bragging to anyone that I got invited. Maya didn't get invited, for instance. Savannah also made sure to tell me not to wear a costume. I thought that was a bit weird if it was a Halloween party. It's good that she told me though, of course, because I would have just assumed to have worn one. Like a proper Halloween one. Not the unicorn costume I made for the Halloween parade, but the goth girl get-up that I'd worn to school. Never mind, apparently it was a no-go for Savannah's party. The only negative about me going to Savannah's party was that now I wouldn't be able to go to the parade and the unicorn costume would be wasted. That was kind of a bummer, but whatever. Anyway, the first thing that happened when I got to her party was that Savannah greeted me at the door and asked, "Where's your boyfriend, Summer?" I didn't even know what she was talking about. I guess he doesn't have to wear a mask at Halloween, right? She added cruelly. And then it was then that I knew she was talking about August. "He's not my boyfriend," I said. "I know, I'm just kidding." She kissed my cheek. All the girls in her group kissed each other's cheeks now whenever they said hello. Weird. I've seen my mum do it. And then she threw my jacket onto the coat hanger in the hallway. Then she took me by the hand down the stairs into her basement, which is where the party was. I couldn't see her parents anywhere. There were about 15 kids there. All of them were from the popular gang, either Savannah's group or Julian's group. I guess they've all kind of merged into one big super group of popular kids, now that some of them have started going out with each other. I didn't even know that there were so many couples. I mean, I knew about Savannah and Henry, but Shmina and Miles, and Ellie and Amos. Ellie seems like she's practically desperate. Anyway, about 5 minutes after I got there, Henry and Savannah were standing next to me, literally hovering over me. "So, we want to know why you hang out with the zombie kids so much," said Henry. "He's not a zombie," I laughed like they were making a joke. I was smiling, but I didn't feel like smiling. "You know, Summer," said Savannah, "you would be a lot more popular if you didn't hang out with him so much. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Julian likes you and he wants to ask you out." "He does?" I could feel myself blushing. "Do you like him?" Yeah, I guess," I said, feeling my cheeks burn. "So, you have to choose who you want to hang out with," Savannah said. She was talking to me like a big sister would talk to a little sister. "Everyone likes you, Summer. Everyone thinks you're really nice and that you're really pretty. You could totally be part of our group if you wanted to be. And believe me, there are a lot of girls in our year group who would love that." "I know," I nodded. "Thank you." "You're welcome," she answered. "So, do you want me to tell Julian to come and talk to you?" I looked over to where she was pointing and could see Julian looking over at us. I actually need to go to the bathroom. Where is it, please?" I went to where she pointed, sat down on the side of the bathtub and called my mum and asked her to come and pick me up. "Is everything okay?" said Mum. "Yeah, I just didn't want to stay," I said. Mum didn't ask any more questions and said she'd be there in 10 minutes. "Don't ring the bell," I told her. "Just call me when you're outside." I hung out in the bathroom until Mum called and then I snuck upstairs without anyone seeing me, got my jacket and went outside. It was only 9:30. The Halloween parade was in full swing down Armsford Avenue. Huge crowds everywhere. Everyone was in costume. Skeletons, pirates, princesses, vampires, superheroes, but not one unicorn. This chapter's called November. The next day at school, I told Savannah I had eaten some really bad Halloween candy and gotten sick, which is why I went home early from a party, and she believed me. There was actually a stomach bug going around, so it was quite a good lie. I also told her that I had a crush on someone else that wasn't Julian, so she would leave me alone about that and hopefully spread the word to Julian that I wasn't interested. She, of course, wanted to know who I had a crush on, and I told her it was a secret. August was absent the day after Halloween, and when he came back, I could tell that something was up with him. He was acting so weird at lunch. He barely said a word, and he kept looking down at his food when I talked to him, like he wouldn't look me in the eye. Finally, I was like, "Oggy, is everything okay? Are you mad at me or something?" "No," he said. Sorry you weren't feeling well on Halloween. I kept looking for Boba Fett in the hallways. Yeah, I was sick. Did you have the stomach bug? Yeah, I guess. He opened a book and started to read, which was kind of rude. I'm so excited about the Egyptian Museum project, I said. Aren't you? He shook his head, his mouth full of food. I actually looked away because between the way he was chewing, which almost seems like he was being gross on purpose, and the way his eyes were just kind of closed down, I was getting a really bad vibe off him. What project did you get? I asked. He shrugged, pulled out a little scrap of paper from his jeans pocket and flicked it across the table at me. Everyone in the grade got assigned an Egyptian artefact to work on for the Egyptian Museum Day, which was in December. The teachers wrote all the assignments down on tiny scraps of paper, which they then put into a fishbowl, and then all of us kids in the grade simply took turns picking out the papers in assembly. So I unfolded Oggie's slip of paper. Oh, cool, I said, maybe a little overexcited because I was trying to get him psyched up. You got the step pyramid of Saqqara. I know, he said. I got Anubis, the god of the afterlife. The one with the dog head? It's actually a jackal head, I corrected him. Hey, do you want to start working on our projects together after school? You could come over to my house. He put his sandwich down and leaned back in his chair. I can't even describe the look he was giving me. You know, Summer, he said, you don't have to do this. What are you talking about? You don't have to be friends with me. I know that Mr. Tushman talked to you about having to do it. I've no idea what you're talking about, I said. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to pretend. That's all I'm saying. I know that Mr. Tushman asked some of the kids before school to look after me, and they told me that you had to be friends with me. He didn't talk to me, August. Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. No, he didn't. I swear on my life. I was getting cross now. I put my hands up in the air so that he could see that I wasn't crossing my fingers. He immediately looked down at my feet, so I took off my Uggs so he could see that my toes weren't crossed. You're wearing tights, he said accusingly. You can see my toes are flat, I yelled. Okay, you don't have to scream. I don't like being accused of things, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. You should be. He really didn't talk to you. Oggie! Okay, I'm really sorry. I just thought, you know... He trailed off. I would have stayed mad at him for longer, but then he told me about something bad that had happened to him on Halloween, and I couldn't stay mad at him anymore. Basically, he heard Jack bad-mouthing him and saying really horrible things behind his back. It kind of explained his attitude, and now I knew why he'd been out apparently sick. Promise you won't tell anyone, he said. I won't, I nodded. Promise you won't ever be mean like that to me again, though. I promise, he said. And with Pinky promised. This chapter's called Warning. This kid is rated R. I had warned Mum about August's face. I had described what he looked like. I did this because I know she's not always so good at faking her feelings, and August was coming over for the first time today. I even sent her a text at work to remind her about it. But I could tell from the expression on her face when she came home after work that I hadn't prepared her enough. She was shocked when she came through the door and saw his face for the first time. Hi Mum, this is Oggie. Can you stay for dinner? I asked quickly. It took a second for my question to even register. Hi Oggie, she said. Of course, sweetheart, if that's okay with Oggie's mum. While Oggie called his mum on his mobile to check, I whispered to Mum, stop making the weird face. She had that look like she was when she was watching the news and some horrific event has happened. She nodded quickly, like she hadn't realised she was making a face, and was really nice and normal to Oggie afterwards. After a while, Oggie and I got tired of working on our projects and went to hang out in the living room. Oggie was looking at the pictures on the mantelpiece, and he saw a picture of me and Dad. Is that your dad? He said. Yeah? I didn't know you were... what's the word? Biracial? Right, that's the word. Yeah. He looked at the picture again. Are your parents divorced? I've never seen him at the drop-off or anything when you come to school. Oh no, I said. He was a platoon sergeant. He died a few years ago. Whoa, I didn't know that. Yeah, I nodded, handing him a picture of my dad in his uniform. Wow, look at all those medals. Yeah, he was pretty awesome. Wow, Summer. I'm really sorry that he's not with you anymore. Yeah, it sucks, I said. I really miss him a lot. Yeah, wow. He nodded, handing me back the picture. Have you ever known anyone who died? I asked. Just my grandma, and I don't even really remember her. That's too bad. Augie nodded. Do you ever wonder what happens to people when they die? I asked. He shrugged. Not really. I mean, I guess they go to heaven. That's where my gran went. I think about it a lot, I said. I think when people die, their souls go to heaven, but just for a little while. Like, that's where they go and they see their old friends and stuff and they kind of catch up on the old times. But then I actually think that the souls start thinking about their lives on earth, like if they were good or bad or whatever. And then they get born again as brand new babies in this world. Why would they want to do that? August asked me. Because then they get another chance to do it right, I answered. Their souls get a chance to do everything again. He thought about what I was saying and then nodded. Kind of like when you get a makeup test, he said. Right, yeah. But they don't come back looking the same, he said. I mean, they look completely different when they come back, right? Oh yeah, I answered. Your soul stays the same, but everything else is different. I like that, he said, nodding a lot. I really like that, Summer. That means in my next life, I won't be stuck with this face. I didn't know what to say. He pointed to his face when he said that and batted his eyes, which then made me smile. I guess not, I shrugged. Hey, I might even be handsome, he said, smiling. That would be so awesome, wouldn't it? I could come back and be this good-looking dude and everyone would really like me and I'd be tall and I'd have a really cool face. I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's one of the things that I liked the most about Augie. As many troubles as he had, he never laid show. Not to me, anyway. Hey, Augie, can I ask you a question? Yeah, he said, like he knew exactly what I wanted to ask. I hesitated for a minute. I've been wanting to ask him this for a while, but I had always lost the guts at the last minute to ask. What? He said. You want to know what's wrong with my face? Yeah, I guess, if that's okay for me to ask. He shrugged. I was so relieved that he didn't seem mad or sad at the question. Yeah, it's no big deal, he said casually. The main thing I have is this thing called mandibulofacial dysostosis, which took me forever to learn how to pronounce, by the way. But I also have this other syndrome thing that I can't even pronounce. And these things kind of just morph together into one big super thing, which is so rare they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered something of a medical wonder, you know. He smiled. That was a joke, he said. You can laugh. I smiled and shook my head. You're funny, Augie, I said. Yes, I am, he said proudly. I am. Cool beans. This chapter's called The Egyptian Tomb. Over the next month, August and I hung out a lot after school, either at his house or at my house. August's parents even invited Mum and me over for dinner a couple of times. I overheard them talking about fixing Mum up on a blind date with August's uncle Ben. On the day of the Egyptian Museum exhibit, we were all really excited and a bit giddy. It had snowed the day before, not as much as it had snowed over the Thanksgiving break, but still, snow, and everyone loves snow. The gym was turned into a giant museum, with everyone's Egyptian artefacts displayed on a table with a little caption card explaining what the thing was. Most of the artefacts were really great, but I have to say I really think mine and August's were the best. My sculpture of Anubis looked pretty real, and I had even used real gold paint on it. And August had made his step pyramid out of sugar cubes. It was 2 feet high and 2 feet long, and he had spray painted the cubes with this kind of fake sand paint or something. It looked so awesome. We all dressed up in Egyptian costumes. Some of the kids were Indiana Jones type archaeologists. Some of them dressed up like pharaohs. August and I dressed up like mummies. Our faces were covered except for 2 little holes for the eyes and 1 little hole for the mouth. When the parents showed up, they all lined up in the hallway in front of the gym. Then, when we were told that we could go and get our parents, and each kid got to take his or her parent on a flashlight tour through the dark gym. August and I took our mums around together. We stopped at each exhibit, explaining what it was, talking in whispers to add to the mood and answering questions. Since it was dark, we used our flashlights to illuminate the artefacts while we were talking. Sometimes, for dramatic effect, we would hold the flashlights under our chins while we were explaining something in detail. It was so much fun, hearing all those whispers in the dark, seeing all the lights zigzagging around the dark room. At one point, I went over to get a drink at the water fountain. I had to take the mummy wrap off my face. "Hey, Summer," said Jack, who came over to talk to me. He was dressed like the man from the Mummy film. "Cool costume." "Thanks. Is the other mummy August?" "Yeah." Hey, do you know why August is mad at me?" "Uh-huh." I nodded. "Can you tell me?" "No." He nodded. He seemed upset. "I told him that I wouldn't tell you," I explained. I was feeling in a really awkward position. "It's so weird," he said. "I've no idea why he's mad at me all of a sudden. Like, none. Can you at least give me a hint?" I looked over to where August was across the room, talking to our mums. I wasn't about to break my solid promise that I wouldn't tell anyone what you'd overheard at Halloween, but I did still feel bad for Jack. "Bleeding scream," I whispered in his ear, and then walked away. I wonder if Jack can work it out for himself. We'll find out in part 4 next week, which is Jack telling the story. I hope you enjoyed that year 6 and that you have a lovely weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.